Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily Dvar. And here's a brand new Halacha for you, and it's for Thursday, 31st day of May. One more about Lashon Hara here for you today. Everybody knows, of course, that listening to Lashon Hara is just as bad and sometimes actually worse than telling the Lashon Hara. Please remember that if there's something bad that's being said, if you weren't sitting there listening, he wouldn't have said it and you wouldn't have gotten the problem. So you can actually be worse sometimes when you're listening to the Lashon Hara. And not only are you helping him do your sin, his sin, but just accepting a piece of Lashon Hara yourself is your own separate Aveira. Therefore, if Chas v'Shalom, God forbid, Lashon Hara ever does reach your ears, the halacha is then, and this is so tough, the halacha is that you must actually convince yourself that it's not true. What a hard task. They just told you that so-and-so reached his hand into the pushka and stole money out of it, and you've got to push into your brain and say, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. I don't believe it. That's very hard, but that's what you're supposed to do. If, God forbid, you can't manage to push the thing out of your brain, the next best thing that you could do is say, okay, so they saw him stick his hand in the pushka, but I don't have to assume now that he actually stole. The next thing I could do in my brain is say, I bet he was just getting change. He probably took 75 cents and put in $1, so he actually gave and he didn't do anything wrong. You should then be convincing yourself of that. Now you know that whenever you do a wrong, especially against a fellow Jew, the halacha is that you're supposed to then go and get forgiveness from that person besides all the other components to tshuva or repentance. So must you go over to the person and say, hey, so-and-so told me that you stole from the pushka. I believed it, but I erased it from my brain and I want you to... I think you can sort of tell where I'm going to go with this. You don't do that. In most cases you don't, because you're actually going to make the matter much worse. The hurt that has happened to him, he's unaware of. The pain has not happened. If you erase it and go back to the teller and tell him, stop telling it, it's not true, that'll be the most efficient way of dealing with the problem, rather than drudging it all up and be guilty of rechilas and tail-bearing, saying, he told me about that, about you, and now they are mad at each other and you just did another sin there. So it's best to just erase it, get the guy who said it to stop saying it, and then you're done. Sometimes, under limited circumstances, you might have to actually go to the person who was spoken about, but always speak to your rabbi first, because that could be a misstep, and it might not be proper to even go there. Thanks for logging on. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.